Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. We are climbing. Listen, I don't know what made all of you, all of a sudden want to jump on even more, but I appreciate it. We were at 5,000 yesterday. We were at 5,200 today. If I can get 200 subs every day, I'll take that. So I appreciate y'all. It's Friday. And so as you know, my name is Coach Gene Clemens for a reason, because Fridays are game days. We have a game day trying to go 1-0 this week and get back to 500. Got an in-city rival coming up with Beach High School. It should be a good game. They're much improved. Their coaching staff's doing a great job over there getting those guys ready to go. Shout out to everybody in the city that has games this week. Prayers to you guys to stay healthy and happy. And if the win is in God's hands, then hey, you know what? Come out with the win. For those who are traveling long distances, get some rest on that bus, my guys. I understand your heartache. But it was something that really got me today, and I wanted to talk about. And if you see me with headphones on, that means you're probably going to hear some audio that I also need to hear, or see some audio, or see some things that you might want to see. And the comments from Jay Norvell, who is the head coach at Colorado State, they didn't sit very well with me. For those who don't know, Jay Norvell was the former coach at Nevada, did a decent job at Nevada, but was never like great at Nevada. Was gifted the Colorado State job because Colorado State's not a very attractive program as a higher level FBS program. And so they couldn't get an elite level coach, so they got Jay Norvell. They couldn't get a top-notch coach, so they got Jay Norvell. Usually when you see these jobs like Colorado State, they usually go after assistant coaches, like high-level assistant coaches that are going to go to Colorado State for a couple of years, do well, and then move on to a better program. I guess Colorado State said that they would rather try to find somebody that's willing to just be there for the next 5, 6, 7 years until they fire him, because he can't get them past 4 to 5, maybe 6 wins in a season. See, the issue that I have with Jay Norvell isn't that he said something about Colorado. If you want to talk greasy to the team that you're about to play, go right ahead. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to trash talk the team that you're about to play, go right ahead. But what I don't like is the connotations behind the trash talk. See, if you're going to trash talk, keep it about the game. If you're going to trash talk, keep it about the game. Once you start making things personal, now it's no longer about the game, and I have to wonder what your intentions are. Because what he said may sound like it's not a big deal until you break down what he said. So I felt it was very important to play what he said. I wanted everybody to hear what he said so that we're all on the same page. So I saw this on where I saw and listened to this at was on Twitter. So that's where I am going to share it with you guys. And shout out to Richie Cazzolino for posting this up. Want to make sure I give credit to the person who posted.
We're excited.
This, and make sure you hear it. So you listen to it. This is Coach Norvell, Jay Norvell, not to be confused with Coach Norvell down at Florida State. but the head coach at Colorado State, who plays Colorado this week, and these were his comments about Coach Prime.
We're excited. Our kids are really, we had to do a bunch of ESPN videos, and it was great. I loved it. But our kids came out of those videos really with a chip on their shoulder. They're tired of all that stuff. They really are tired of it. And I sat down with ESPN today, and I don't care if they hear it in Boulder. I told them I took my hat off and I took my glasses off, and I said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my glasses off. That's what my mother taught me. So, they're not going to like us no matter what we say or do. It doesn't matter, okay? So let's go up there and play. And so that's just how I feel about it. We're excited. Our kid.
So first off, right, when you hear it, it sounds like he's about to talk about his kids. It sounds like he's going to talk about the kids, but he doesn't talk about the kids. He talks about himself, right? He starts by saying, hey, the kids are excited. We had to do a lot of ESPN like videos, and they came out of it and they were tired. And I thought in my brain, like in my mind, I thought to myself, oh, he's going to now talk about how his kids feel disrespected from all the hype behind Colorado. I thought he was going to talk about how his kids are looking forward to the challenge of Colorado. I thought he was going to talk about his kids being up and being excited about this rivalry, Colorado State. Instead, he decided to take a shot at Coach Prime. He immediately said, hey, I didn't, they're not going to like this. Well, when you start with that, you know where it's going. They're not going to like this. But when I talk to people, I take my hat off and I take my glasses off. What in the hell does that have to do with football? That has nothing to do with football. See, this is the problem when guys feel entitled to talk about what other coaches do and how other coaches run their program. You know what would be going on at Colorado State if Coach Prime was there? You know what would be going on? College Game Day would be going there. Big Noon Saturday would be going there. Why? Because whatever Coach Prime is doing, whether he has a hat on, whether he has a hood on, whether he has shades on, none of that matters. Whatever he's doing gets eyes and attention on a program that needs eyes and attention. Colorado State has been bad. Last year, Coach Norvell won 3 games in his first season at Colorado State. So then when I heard these comments and I heard the arrogance to believe that he thinks he could just say whatever he wants about another man and what that man does on his time, I had to go and look at Jay Norvell's record. And when I go and look at Jay Norvell's record as a head coach, it's not one of those records that makes me go, yo, he really deserves to be a head coach. Jay Norvell is a guy who has been making his bones in the college world for a long time. He's worked his way up the ranks. Started in '86 as a GA at Iowa, Northern Iowa, Wisconsin, Iowa State. A few years with the Colts, a few years with the Raiders. Nebraska as an OC. From 04 to 06, when he was the OC at Nebraska, please tell me the success that Nebraska had. In 2007, as the offensive coordinator for UCLA, what success did UCLA have? In 08 to 10, as the assistant offensive coordinator at Oklahoma, and from 11 to 14 as a co-offensive coordinator, Oklahoma did what? And why was he not able to flip that into a head coaching job? He went from being the co-offensive coordinator at Oklahoma to the wide receivers coach at Texas. That is one heck of a step down if you're talking to me. If I'm listening to it, if I'm thinking about it, if I go from being an OC to the wide receiver coach, if I go from being an OC to a major Power 5 program to the wide receivers coach at a major Power 5 program, unless I went from a non-ranked team to a top 5 team, I would look at that as a demotion. Arizona State in 2016, before he finally got his job at Nevada. And so then I asked myself, okay, well, what did he do at Nevada as the head coach? Well, his first year there, he went 3-9. That's okay. You're taking over a program that's bad. The next year, 8-5, that's respectable. 7-6, that's respectable. 7-2, that's respectable, right? Here's the problem. That's 4 years in. This is now your entire team. If you are him, in year 5, you win big because Nevada has won big. Nevada has had 11-win and 10-win seasons. His 5th year, 8-4. And so 8-4, a 33-26 record, 7 games over 500 was good enough for him to flip the Nevada job into the Colorado State job. That tells you how bad the Colorado State job is and how desperate they were for somebody to come in. But that to me doesn't say, oh my God, this guy is really that dude. That doesn't tell me, oh my God, this guy is the man. And so for him to take the stand that he wants to, take a shot at Prime, he's doing the very thing that he doesn't like being done. Because instead of taking that time, right, taking that time on a platform to talk about his kids, to talk about his players and what they've done, to talk about his coaches and how they've worked, he took that time to call out another coach on the coach's actions as if he has some type of dominion over the way these coaches act, as if what Coach Prime is doing is somehow detrimental to his team. You can be annoyed about it all you want, right? Because in Jay Norvell's mind, right, in his mind, he's thinking, well, I'm a lifer in this. I came up from the bottom to get here. Coach Prime took the fast track. Right? There could be some resentment there. I get it. It's tough. But what you have to know is, Jay Norvell, you don't matter. Nobody's out here looking for Jay Norvell. Nobody even knew another Norvell existed in college football coaching until you talked about Coach Prime. The only reason you have relevance today in the college football world is because you talked about what that man does over there. That's how powerful his name is. His name gets you popping. His name gets people searching for you. And you know what else bringing his name up is going to do? It's going to get your team smoked by 40 to 50 on Saturday. I can almost stamp it, right? Because your game versus Washington State, who has a similar type of offense with a quarterback who's equally as good. Shador's probably better, but Cameron Ward went 37 for 49 for 451 yards and 3 touchdowns. What do you think Shedeur Sanders is going to do? He has already proven that when you talk about his dad, he takes it extremely personal. And because he's the quarterback, he can do something about it. Like when people do these things, I wonder if they understand the ramifications of their actions. Listen, if you're a betting person, go ahead and put some money down on Colorado to cover. Take the over. Take Colorado in the over. I don't even know what it is. Whatever the spread is, it's probably 20-something points because Colorado State's bad. It's probably 20-something points. So take the spread, take the over. If Nebraska played Colorado State tomorrow, Nebraska would beat them by 21 points. So what do you think that Colorado is going to do to them? At home. Everybody geeked up. In-state rivalry. College game day is there. Everybody said, oh, they're going to lay an egg when Nebraska comes because of all of the hype. They went out there and smoked Nebraska. The first half, people were like, ooh, see. Second half, they came out, smoked those boots. Every single time people start questioning or doubting, they step up. And here's the sad part about it. Instead of just saying, hey, whatever happens the rest of this season is a win, they won't start actually judging Colorado until they start losing. Because Colorado's most likely going to lose. Not this week. They're going to murder Colorado State. But they're most likely going to lose. They're most likely going to lose. Why? Because at the end of the day, when you start to get up against equally talented teams like USC, like Washington, I don't know if Oregon is equally talented. They struggle with some teams. But when they start going up against those Pac-12 teams that have legitimate deep offensive and defensive lines, there's going to be some struggle. They're not going to get blown. I don't think they're going to get blown out, but they might. And if they do get blown out, who cares? They've already won. You want to know what the beautiful thing about what Coach Prime did at Jackson State? Year one, when he got there, right? Nobody talks about year one. But year one or season one, when he got there, was the spring season. When they went out there, they struggled. He didn't have the right pieces. He added some more pieces. He had some guys that couldn't play in the spring. Came back in the fall. Much, much better than they were, right? But he realized he had to get better in the trenches. So what did he do in the offseason? After the second season, he got better in the trenches. So what do you think he's going to do at Colorado? What do you think he's going to do at Colorado? You think he's just going to sit there and continue to have no depth at the defensive? He's already proven he can get whatever skill player he wants. Now he's going to go get the lineman. And when he does, that's what he means when he says, I'm about to get comfortable. When he talks about getting comfortable, he's talking about getting elite level linemen. He's talking about getting guys in there that can operate the same way Alabama does, the same way Texas does, the same way Georgia does. You know what? It's actually interesting to me that the Coach Prime is a pretty low-key dude until it's time to show everybody who he really is, right? Very similar to Optimus Prime. If anybody knows anything about Transformers, Optimus Prime is not the person that's looking to be seen. He'd rather stay in the shadows. He'd rather chill. Deion Sanders would rather be on on his property at a lake fishing. He would not rather be in the public eye. However, you guys allow him, every time he turns around, people are thrusting him into the limelight. And when they do, Deion Sanders turns into prime time. The same way that when you make Optimus Prime have to show you he's that dude, he always has that time where he murks everybody walking. And so we'll get another iteration of that on Saturday. And the only thing I'm really looking forward to is seeing what the end of the game handshake looks like, or if there's an end of the game handshake at all. You know what else I'm looking forward to outside of my game tonight? Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, ESPN Plus, you are going to see your boy calling the Morgan State versus Towson football game. I'm really excited. I'll tell you, it's my first opportunity to do work with ESPN, so obviously that's great. You can't get past the mothership, the worldwide leader, but really, more importantly, it's my first opportunity to call a college game. It's something that I've wanted to do for an extremely long time. It's one of the reasons why I went to school for journalism. It's one of the reasons why I've worked in this industry for over 20 years. Is to get to this point. And I just want people to understand that this stuff doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't just wake up and make it happen. Sometimes you can get lucky, right? Sometimes it's a who you know, but when you grow up like me and you ain't know nobody and you can't afford to take jobs where you don't make money because you don't have a support system that's going to hold you down financially. When you got to do it on your own, it might take longer, but the reward is much sweeter when you know, hey, I really put the hours in. Now, even with saying that, it doesn't mean that I didn't get lucky. I still got lucky. Shout out to my guy, Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, Mr. Day 3, for putting me in a position to be able to take advantage of the opportunity. That's all we ever ask, is for people who know that we do good work to give us the opportunity to do more good work. And so the years working with The Athletic, the years working with Giants Country, the years working with Football Game Plan, right? My YouTube channel, my podcast in the mornings, everything, my own individual work, doing color commentary and play-by-play for high school games. It's all led to the point where I get this opportunity and I am thankful for it. But this ain't it. This isn't the finish line. This is where things start. So if you have ESPN Plus, make sure you tune in. If for nothing else, just to see what I'm wearing when we open up. But also check out a really great game. It's the battle for Baltimore. And Morgan State has been on the wrong side of that scoreboard on many occasions. And I think they have a really awesome opportunity to be on the right side of it this time. Some quick hitters from football. Isn't it amazing that Minnesota's passing game looks so great, but their rushing attack looks so miserable through 2 games? I wonder why. It's almost as if Minnesota needs a running back. Wait a minute. They had a running back. How stupid does Minnesota look right now? You had a top-tier, top-level running back who you had already given the majority of his money to, and you decided that you would be better off letting him go and going with Alexander Madison and just some dudes. And through two games, I don't think he's rushed for 50 yards. If Dalvin Cook is on this Minnesota team with the way in which these games have unfolded versus Tampa Bay and versus Philadelphia, Minnesota could very well be 2-0 right now. At least 1-1, but probably 2-0. If you've got the passing game working like this, and now you give Dalvin Cook the opportunity to work in 6- and 7-man boxes instead of 8-man boxes, guess what? He's going to cook. No pun intended. But instead, Minnesota being cheap, trying to act like, oh, it doesn't matter who our running back is. Whoever the running back is, they're going to be successful. Guess what? You're wrong. You're wrong. And now you're going to go and have to try to find another Dalvin Cook. Remember, you got lucky that Dalvin Cook dropped to the second round because he was a first-round talent who people started putting stuff on. And now all of a sudden he became a second-round talent, and then he got to the NFL and all that stuff that they put on him, it doesn't matter. See, that's the thing that nobody talks about. That's the crazy part about college and the pros. The pros don't care if you don't go to school. The pros only care if you show up to practice. If you're a football player and the knock on you is that you didn't take school seriously, why should the NFL care that you didn't take school seriously? They want to know if you take football seriously. Why would the NBA care if you take school seriously? They want to know if you take basketball seriously. If you're skipping classes, if you're not going to school, but you're in the gym, that's what those professionals care about. That's what the professional ranks care about. They don't care about anything else but that. Navy lost again last night. They lost to Memphis, and it was a good game. It was like a shootout. I was really confused, though. I thought, Navy was a run first team. If Navy was the Navy of old, they probably have a chance to win that game versus Memphis last night. But instead, they let their quarterback throw the ball 19 times. When was the last time you saw a Navy team throw the ball 19 times? Better yet, when was the last time you saw a Navy team throw the ball 19 times and win? It does not happen. And guess what? It didn't happen again. And I always think about karma, right? This is what happens when you treat people who have really been down for you poorly. It still doesn't sit right with me the way they got rid of Ken Niumatalolo. It still doesn't sit right with my spirit the way that they got rid of that man after all he did for that program, for that school, for that organization, for his country. It never fit well with me. And then they hired the defensive coordinator who he hired as the head coach, only for the defensive coordinator to be like, oh yeah, things just got stale around here. Word? Your defense gave up over 400 yards of offense. That's not good. If you had been employing some of the tactics that Navy uses, which is ball control, time of possession, you could have very well came out with the win. But you didn't, right? You didn't. The time of possession was 5 minutes in favor of Navy. You want to know why? because Memphis was scoring quick. But it should have probably been more like 15 minutes because Navy was giving up possessions quick, trying to pass the ball. You can't make these things up. Do you want to be something new, something innovative? Then go ahead and do it. But if you're just going to be a triple option team trying to throw the ball more, that's not going to work. That combination doesn't work. If you're a triple option team trying to throw the ball 20 plus times, it's not going to work. That's not how the triple works. The triple is a wear down, catch you making a mistake type of offense. It is not a dominate offense. It is not a high flying, high powered offense. So don't treat it that way. I don't know, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for this Friday. I'm excited for Saturday. I'm excited for Sunday. It's going to be a great college football week. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Again, we are going. The goal is 10,000 subs before the end of the year. If we get there earlier, we'll change the goal, right? If we get there earlier, we'll change the goal. But the goal is 10,000 subs before the end of the year. And I think we can make it. Shout out to Say Less Sports Tees for the fly little baseball jump off. We always like these. Make sure you check them out, saylessports.com. Until next time, you know what we do. That's Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do this thing a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Till next time, peace.